At what point did you know Palantir was special? Like it really had legs?
You know, it was, for me, it was like when I had some of these people joining. Bob McGrew, when he came in from he had been Stanford PhD and had been at PayPal and was a superstar. That was part of the reason Peter gave us money for one round, is when he joined, and he ended up running a bunch of stuff at OpenAI after being at Palantir for 10 years. But when he came, these other guys came. When we started to get into the FBI and the, it's just like 3 or 4 years in, it started to really work, and all this top talent started coming. It was very special.
And what happened? So when you're saying FBI, what does that mean? Like they're approaching you guys, you're solving their problems, they're seeing.
It's so hard to sell the government. And so the CIA, I used to think it was like the CIA. It's actually like 200 competing orgs that don't like each other. And the FBI is like that a little bit too. There's lots of parts of it. And so we were working and doing pilots with both sides, but we couldn't get a breakthrough. And at one point, it's kind of funny, they were jealous of each other. They wanted to be first, but they didn't want to be first.
FBI and CIA.
Government's very funny. I've done other things we sell to government. They both want to be able to tell everyone how innovative they are, but they don't want to take any risk in being the first one to do something because they can get fired, and they're very risk-averse people who tend to be bureaucrats. And so we were doing all these things they needed, but they were afraid to do the big contract. And I think both of them thought the other contract was going ahead, and then they both signed at once. And then we got in and we started to add real value. And listen, this company took a long time to iterate and figure out how to help. But it was once you started breaking in and iterating with them, it was clear we were going to get there.
And what role was Thiel playing?
Thiel was like the chairman of the board, co-founder, strategist. He stopped us from making some really key mistakes in years 2, 3, 4. There would have been some bad partnerships we were going to sign. He made sure it was funded. He made sure the vision was the right direction.
Are you comfortable sharing one of them?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there was a company that was going to get us our first few $1 million of revenue if we partnered with them in DC, but they would have kind of locked us into something where they owned a big piece of the whole thing long term, the way they structured it, and that would have capped the value. We probably would have been a better chance of being worth $100 million and no chance of being worth billions.
Stop. That big of a difference.
I mean, because they would have owned a piece of the market, the way they wanted to structure it, and have some rights. And for me, I'm just trying to make this thing work. So you're like, oh, this is going to give us millions of revenue. We'll be able to get over here, but it would have really taken away a lot of the upside. And he's very smart about how to structure these things, how to protect yourself, and he's always been the thinker behind the scenes, who you check everything with and who you make sure you're going the right direction.
Why was Palantir started?
It was started to protect the West against Islamist terrorists and to make sure we save the government money and protect the civil liberties. That's
the mission.
That was the mission.
That's truly the mission.
That was truly the mission.
And you're saying that to me in the interview when you're recruiting me.
I don't know if we used. Yeah, we used a lot of words like that when we were first starting. Yeah, we were helping.
What are you telling me in the interview? Are you literally telling me we're going to save the free world?
Yeah, we say, listen, the technology cultures that exist on the West Coast, which if I'm interviewing you, you're one of the great technologists, and your friends are amongst the very top. The things we know how to do here, they do not know how to do that in this part of the world in DC. They just don't. They're way behind, and they're broken, and they're wasting tens of billions of dollars, and we're getting attacked, and they're abusing our data. And they're incompetent, and we're going to have to do this for them to come in. And it's important that at least some of the best people in the world go and help the government be less stupid. I mean, that is my view on the matter.
Got it. But that mission was full-on bought, and you, Alex, Peter, you guys are on the same page with the mission.
Yeah, save the Shire, we used to put it, because this comes from the Lord of the Rings. But you're save the Shire is this Western civilization. It's protecting the innocent. It's going off and doing the mission for them.
Let me ask you, the process, is it okay? Pre the idea of Palantir, you're sitting in, guys, this is a problem. We have to save, the free world. We have to save the, Western ideology. Here's the enemy, what they're trying to do. How can we solve that problem? And then do you think about what company can we develop that can solve this problem? Does it go mission first, solution second? What is the process?
The tools that were built at PayPal to stop the fraudsters.
This is the Russia one you were talking about.
The Russian and Chinese mafia. Right. You had to be able to stop those guys. So we built those tools. Then
How nasty was it?
It made all of our competitors go bankrupt. Everyone else was going bankrupt, basically. That this was existential for PayPal to solve.
What kind of money did they get? I mean,
it was like $7 or $8 million a month. But that was back when that was a lot of money, though. You have to remember,
early stages of PayPal.
This is it's like $7 or $8 million a month at a time when it's scaling.
Still a lot of money.
It was enough to make it unprofitable.
Got it.
I don't have the exact numbers, but it was enough to make it unprofitable versus profitable. It was really key, and it was annoying because you had to not accept certain things if you couldn't stop these guys, right? So it'd break a lot of stuff. They'd run money through the system, they take it out. You might go to 7-Eleven, buy something, they're gonna get your credit card, sell it to a big group of Russians. The Russians are gonna open accounts, transfer a bunch of money. You're gonna then get PayPal $300. You say no, you'll charge it back, and then we have to pay the other company has to pay it. And so there's all this fraud you got to deal with, and then it turned out that like the types of problems we realized we were doing for investigating that, you could extend those to a lot more types of problems and build investigative software that didn't exist and be able to like look into all the data, bring the data together, basically have the human mind extended into the $38 billion of data, and make sure you only access what you're allowed to access, and make sure you have audit trails to do it right in order to get the bad guys.
And so that created so much pain and annoyance that led to the mission, and it inspired from there to start a company called Palantir that prevents what Russia and China did to you guys.
Well, 9/11 happened after that, and we got to know these guys, and we saw them reacting to it badly. We said, wait a second,
So
we got to help them.
things at the same time.
Yeah, it's those two things.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury, we had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany, Italy. We chose true Italian craftsmanship, each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.